Okay, everyone, this is what the test looks like. This is the practice training site on SBAC. So this is what you would log on your Chromebook, and you will leave it as guest user and guest session. Now I'm just going to show you what it looks like. You click sign in on the bottom. You're going to select your grade. You have to choose the right grade, because then you won't know what to test. And we're going to start with a third grade. Let's look at a practice test here. And here simply there's nothing for you to do. You go down to select. You have to do the audio check. Then you can hear it and see it move. You can hear the sound. You press continue. You begin test now. And this is what your test looks like. These are all the buttons that we're going to be talking about. And there's more buttons at the top. We're going to be talking about all that stuff. So you will have a split screen, half of it with a story or some kind of passage to read. The other half is questions. Most of the time, well, I guess this one has 8 questions at the beginning. A lot of the times they only have like 4 questions per page. But you do have to take your time and read everything carefully. I'm just going to make a choice on each of these so I can move forward to the next page and you can see what it looks like. This is question 6, 7, and 8. And I'm going to press next so that you can see it continues with the split screen and there's more passages to read. I know it looks like a lot, but it really isn't. But you do have to read carefully. And on this side, there's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, another set of like 6 questions. And I'm just going to go ahead and pick some answers here. You do not do this. I'm just showing you so you can go next. Some of them are short passages. And it tells me to select 2, so I'm just going to select 2 for now so I can go next. This is question 17 and so forth. I'm going to go next until I get to the end just so you can see what it looks like. And this is the ELA, which is the English Language Arts. Sometimes you have to listen to presentations, so you will be needing headphones. And hopefully by that time you'll have headphones. And then you answer questions. You can pause it and play it again as needed. And again, this is more listening. Is it the same? Yeah, it's a second recording. There's only 3 questions here, so some are short, some are long. And 28, 29, there's about 30 questions. Okay, so now we've reached the end of the test. Obviously, you're going to take longer to do this test. But you can press save. It really doesn't do much because it already has to save the test. But if you press save, it doesn't hurt. And what you do when you get to the end of the test is you press end the test. And then you say yes, you want to go to the next page because you're done with your test. And this is how many questions you worked on. So we've done 30 questions. Once you know that you're done, for sure, that you did your best, then you go to submit and yes. And then you have nothing else left to do but to log out, and you log out. That's an ELA test. I'm going to show you what a regular math test looks like. And again, you select your grade, and this is the same practice site that we're going to go. And I'm going to pick the shorter one just because I don't want to run out of time here. Again, you have nothing to do. You select, do the video check. You can see it, you can hear it. Continue, begin test now. Math problems have one question. They're usually shorter. And I'm just doing whatever because I just want to get through the test. This one is a shorter test because it's a practice one. And then some of them you get to type in the answers. Some of them you have to drag in and click on choices. Some of them you have to read the directions. Some of them you do have to draw things. And in this case, we've reached the end of this test. Again, end test. Yes, go to the next page. And we did 7 problems on this one. And we're going to submit it, and yes, and log out. Now I want to show you a sample performance task. And remember, this is just the practice sets. Hopefully we can get to it. And I want to show you a ELA performance task, which is the English Language Arts. Again, a sound check. If you could hear the video and see the video moving, then press yes. Begin the test. This one, you have something, an informational performance task. That means you're going to write an informational piece. Perhaps on the other page it will say the same thing. And it gives you your tasks. And again, it's split in 2 and it has small passages with some pictures. And then you have a couple of questions to ask. They have a couple of questions that you need to answer. So I'm just going to click here something here on this question. You must type your answer in complete sentences. This is just an example. Okay. And then once you're done, this only has 2 questions and the passages. Now when I turn over to the next page, I want you to notice that the same passages are here. Remember the astronaut floating in space. It's the same passages, but now you have a different set of directions. And this is where I say that where you need to write it about a specific genre. And here's everything they want you to do. So take the time to read it carefully and highlight important notes and clues for yourself so that they're always highlighted in front of you and you don't forget what you're doing in the first place. And in this case, this is your assignment. Your assignment is you decide to write an informational article on astronauts in this case. So I would highlight that just so I remember what I'm doing. So I'm going to write about an information piece about astronauts. And this is that long writing piece. Even though it only looks like it's to right here, it's like a long page. You can type as much as you want and as much as you need. I am pretty sure you're not going to run out of space. This is, and then it has all these different buttons, which we will go over as well on a separate occasion. Just showing you what it looks like. Once you have finished, we are going to press next, and it says you have reached the end of the test. Again, you're not going to type one sentence. This is just for example. Going to end the test, and yes, and you've done the 2 questions in the front and then question 3. So performance task will have 1 to 5 questions depending on which one it is. Mostly the ELA has 3 and the math has maybe 5. And let me show you really quickly. Remember, you log out quickly what the math performance task looks like. So this is what it reads. And again, you select, you do the sound check. You have to click I could see it and hear it. And then begin test now. The math one is split as well into 2 sections. And you have to scroll down and make sure that you've caught all the information, because sometimes you think this is it and then there's like a little bit more down there. So make sure you scroll the way down. It's like a bottle questions about bottles and water, aluminum cans, glass cans. They give you a graph which you read everything. And it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions. Now I'm just going to choose some answers here because I want to get through. Okay, and then let me move this over so you can see. And I'm just going to pick something here. And then again, answer in complete sentences. You want to make sure you read everything. And when you're done typing, make sure you check your spelling and all that other stuff. And then there's nowhere else to go, so you have 5 questions here. Once you've answered, you want to go to next. You want to go to next. It says you've reached the end of the test. And then you go to end of the test. Yes. And then you've done 5 questions here. That's it. And you submit. And yes. And log out. That's what the tests look like.